Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today is Airbrush Day, finally, and we'll be doing a candy apple red type of effect. So, on with the intro. Hi and welcome back to Geekbod Gaming. I just want to say thank you to all my subscribers, all the new and the old ones. It's fantastic to see you here and I appreciate you spending time on my channel. Now today's video is to create a candy apple red type of effect. Now, whether there's a copyright on that I'm not sure, but it's that sort of colour. A deep red, rich, glossy colour. Now the colours I'll be using, and you're not limited to these, but the ones I use, so I usually start with a silver base, or an aluminium base in this case, which is... I use Vallejo Model Air aluminium, if I can turn it the right way. There you go. Start with that as a base, and then you put some gold on if you want that sort of deeper, richer colour. Again, I use Vallejo. If I'm butchering the name, then tell me off. Model Air Gold. Fantastic base. You barely need any sort of thinning or flow improver with these, but it's really brilliant. And then for the actual red effect, I used these Tamiya Clear Red. This one, so the X27 Clear Red. Make sure it says Clear Red, not flat red. The Vallejo ones are water-based acrylics. You have to be careful because the Tamiya ones are actually alcohol-based acrylics, so you can't use the same thinners on both. That's why... One second. I'm back. For the Tamiya, I use their own thinners, so that. Whereas for the Vallejo, I will generally use... I actually don't use any thinners on this at all. I just use the flow improver. You can get similar effects with different types of red paints or coloured paints. It's the clear paints. I've also used these Miniature Ghost tints. That gives you a really similar sort of effect, but it's a bit deeper red. So it depends what you're after. But as long as it's the clears, there's other brands as well. But I'll stop waffling and just get on with the video. Okay, so the first layer is the silver layer, or in this case, the chrome layer. I know in the intro I said I used the aluminium paint, but apparently I forgot. Either way, it gives you that nice silvery base to go over. I use a mix of flow improver and paint, roughly 3-to-1 ratio, so 1 drop of flow improver to every 3 drops of paint. That's roughly. As long as you get a nice fluid paint, then you'll be fine. I did 2 layers of this and then moved on to the gold. Now we move on to the gold, which is the actual paint that I showed you, not the wrong one. For this one, again, the flow improver, the same ratios, and 2 layers of the gold as well, and that was basically it. Wait for that to dry and then move on to the red. Just to know, you have to wait for the water-based paint to dry fully before putting the alcohol-based paint on top, otherwise it will separate, and you get some really wobbly, weird effects. And now onto the red. We're using obviously the Tamiya Clear Red and the Tamiya thinner as well. I use a ratio of roughly 2-to-1, so 1 thinner to every 2 paint, and I do about 4 layers of this. So that's it, and hopefully you can see how simple it actually is to create this sort of effect. If you wanted it to be slightly deeper, you wouldn't use silver, you could maybe put a darker bronze base underneath, and you get a similar sort of effect. But the idea is the red covers it and gives you that nice candy effect over the top. You can get a deeper red by doing more and more layers of the red. I have been known to go overboard. I think on one model I did probably about 15 layers of the red, but I got a really, really deep, rich red, and that's what I wanted. It just took forever. But that's it for now. So I hope you've enjoyed the video, and if you've got any questions or comments, or if you've used any other paints and you get a similar effect easier or a different way of doing it, please drop a comment and let me know. I'd love to hear from you. And that's it for now, and goodbye from Geekbud Gaming.